Londinium. Life at the edge of the empire. The air was thick with the scent of river mud and roasted grain. Along the banks of the wide, sluggish Thames, sails flapped in the wind as Roman merchant ships unloaded amphorae of olive oil and crates of wine. Fishermen yelled in Latin and Celtic. Horses clopped on stone roads. Above it all, rising like a testament to civilization in the wild north, stood the city of Londinium. It began as a frontier outpost just after Emperor Claudius ordered the conquest of Britannia in 43 CE. Her warriors stormed Londinium and razed it to the ground. Archaeologists today still find her destruction, a layer of blackened soil and ash beneath the city. But the Romans, as always, rebuilt. Stronger, smarter. The Basilica, a vast administrative hall at the edge of the Forum, towered above the plaza. Here, governors presided over legal matters, tax collectors counted coins, and scrolls rustled in the hands of clerks. From across the empire, news, laws, and rumors filtered in. Followers gathered in secret, performing torchlit rituals and drinking from sacred bowls. Nearby stood shrines to Jupiter, Mars, and Minerva. But Rome was pragmatic. They embraced local beliefs too. In response, massive stone walls were built around the city in the late 2nd century. They stood 6 meters high, reinforced with towers and gates. Britannia was abandoned. Londinium's streets, once alive with voices, fell silent. Grass grew through stone tiles. Roofs caved in. The bridge collapsed into the river. Soldiers patrolled them constantly. Behind the walls, the city tightened. Space became precious. The grandeur of the early empire slowly gave way to defense and decline. When medieval builders dug foundations, they unearthed Roman bricks. Modern subway tunnels sliced through ancient walls. Today, beneath the skyscrapers and markets of London, the bones of Londinium still lie. Native gods were honored, often fused with Roman ones, yet Londinium persisted. Roman legions stayed longer here than in most of the Western Empire. They kept the peace even as Rome itself began to crumble. Coins bearing the image of Sulis Minerva circulated widely, especially near Bath, this time in stone. It connected the northern city to the Roman road system in the south, leading toward Dover and Gaul beyond. Painted murals adorned their walls, scenes of gods, gardens, and myth. Walk through the financial district, and you're treading the path of a Roman soldier. Londinium was never truly lost. It simply waited, buried and breathing beneath the city that came after it. Their gardens bloomed with imported flowers. Wealth brought comfort, but not equality. The poor lived in wooden insulae, multi-story tenements that creaked and leaned with age. Fires were a constant threat. In the alleys below, vendors sold hot bread, mulled wine, and boiled lentils to workers and travelers. The riverbanks bustled with activity. Longboats, warehouses, laborers, and slaves hauling goods. Barges floated in, laden with tin, wool, grain, and even oysters, Britannia's prized delicacy. Gladiators, some enslaved. Others volunteers fought under the roar of the crowd. Lions, brought from Africa, were released through iron gates to chase down condemned prisoners. Spectacle, Rome believed, was a form of power. The Romans found the perfect spot, a low fort across the river, flanked by gently rising ground and good access to the sea. Timber structures were replaced by stone. Roads were paved with gravel and lined with ditches. At the city's heart stood the Forum, an open plaza buzzing with life. Merchants sold spices from Syria and fine glass from the Rhineland. Stone statues of emperors looked down on senators in togas and local Britons bartering wool for bronze. By 47 CE, they had laid the first foundations. At first, it was a humble thing, wooden buildings with thatched roofs, muddy lanes, and soldiers posted at watchpoints. But Rome didn't build to remain small. Wide avenues crossed the city from end to end, flanked by raised sidewalks and lined with shops. Public latrines drained into underground sewers. Clay pipes carried water from wells and aqueducts. Fires were kept at bay by open courtyards and tiled roofs. Londinium grew quickly. Traders arrived from all corners of the Empire: Gaul, Hispania, Germania. Then, disaster struck. In the year 60, Queen Boudicca of the Iceni led a fiery rebellion against Roman rule. The new Londinium was a marvel. Streets ran in a perfect grid, their paving stones worn smooth by sandals and cartwheels. By the 2nd century, Londinium was a city of nearly 30,000, a bustling, multi-ethnic hub of trade and governance. A wooden bridge spanned the Thames, the first true London bridge. Wealthy Romans built spacious domus with inner courtyards, mosaic floors, and even heated rooms using underfloor hypocausts. Temples dotted the city. One of the most mysterious stood near the river, the Mithraeum, a subterranean temple to Mithras, the god of light and loyalty. In the northeast stood Londinium's amphitheater, where thousands gathered to watch blood sport. As Londinium flourished, danger grew. Saxon raiders threatened from across the sea. By the 3rd and 4th centuries, cracks appeared. Trade dwindled. Some villas fell into ruin. Roads went unrepaired. Then, around 410 CE, the final blow came. Rome called back its legions to defend the heart of the empire. But the story did not end. Though centuries passed, the shape of Romanlondon lingered beneath the earth. Stand near the Tower of London, and you're standing beside a Roman wall.